G'day guys, well if you missed the last video, we are going to Bathurst. Yes, very exciting. We're going to be racing in the support category for the Bathurst 6 hour in April for the Easter long weekend. So yeah, super exciting times. However, it has also made me crazy nervous that I need to get this car ready and a lot of other stuff ready. There's a lot to do before we do that. Now, before we start this little video talking about prep for Bathurst, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that has supported this little Bathurst mission. So if you didn't watch the last video, I've organised some little stickers that go on the bonnet. So basically, if you donate $20, you get a neon red sticker on the bonnet, and instead of the Nugget Project logo, it's your name inside the cogs, which is pretty cool. And then if you donate $40 or more, it's a white sticker that stands out a little more, your name inside there, which will go on the bonnet of the car. And I also send you out a little goodie pack. So for the people that did donate $40 or more, well, everybody who donated, thank you so much. Honestly, like even $5, it's incredible. Like you guys are helping me out so much, and it's making this dream of me going to the mountain and going racing coming true. So, and the messages of support have been amazing. I'm really blown away. Actually, it's incredible. Thank you so much. For those that did donate $40 or more, I am going to send you out a little goodie bag. I'm just waiting for the stuff to come. I'm getting some things made to make the goodie bag a little bit more special since you guys have all been legends. So that'll be here probably end of Jan, so I'll start sending stuff out sort of February. But it will be coming, so please look out in your mailboxes for that. Anybody who did donate $40 or more and hasn't sent me their mailing address, please send me your mailing address. Jump on Facebook or something like that. Send me a message with with your name you want on the car and your mailing address, so I can get this out to you. Otherwise, I can't send it. And I've got probably about 10 names that I don't have addresses for. Speaking of which, the bonnet's full. 41 names are going on this bonnet. That is incredible, guys. I'm, as I said, blown away. It's amazing. And we've got a few more names, so we're going to start going up the roof. So we've got either side of the roof. We'll put your names on there. Yeah, that's amazing, guys. Thank you so much. I'm not going to blabber on about this, but yeah, I'm genuinely blown away. It's really nice of you. Thank you so much. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Bathurst and what we need to do to get this car ready, me ready, everything ready for what is going to be the biggest race of my life. Cool. So speaking of graphics, one of the things I definitely want to do for this is get the livery finished. I've been talking about this for freaking ages and it hasn't happened because I don't know why, it just hasn't. But now we've got the vinyl cutter literally just sitting on the bench over there. I got the car right here. I can cut it, weed it, get it all ready, stick it on the car. So here's my plan for delivery. I'm going to put up a little graphic, something like that. So I want to have a big Nugget Project logo up the side of the car here. I'm going to have a Luxe Performance logo on the back, and the line from the Nugget Project is kind of going to go through the Luxe Performance logo. Should tie it in neatly. I'm very big on simple and clean liveries. I think some of the more complex ones are very amazing, but I've always been more of a fan of just simple liveries. And the ones that stand out, like you look at the Shell V-Power Racing and the Red Bull liveries, like they're quite a simple design. I think with the Red Bull one, if you get a bit closer, there's a lot more intricate detail, but in general, you stand back, you can identify those cars from a million miles away, and I like that. So yeah, basically just the nice Nugget Project logo, Luxe Performance. The rest of the car is actually pretty good. The bonnet's good, the roof is good. I just need to fix up a bit of graphic on the roof. I had a bit of tire hit the front of the graphic there and it's kind of torn it, so I need to just cut a section out and sort of fix that. Also, I've got my wife's company going on there, because obviously my biggest supporter. So her first aid training company, which is incredible, is going to go on the car. I haven't decided whether it's going on the front or the back. And our friend Luke Street from over in WA has also supported the car, so his business logo is going to go on there too. So I'm not too sure where that's going to go. It's going to fit with my wife's logo somewhere. And then we've got a bit of space on the back, which I'm going to have a look at later. But the main thing I want to get done is just that side livery, both sides. With that livery, I've got the big cog, and the cog will remain in the same spot both sides of the car, so the cog won't move forward. It'll stay there, and then just obviously the text will be the right way around on both sides of the car. So that's the livery. I will, I think, film that for you guys. That's going to happen soon. I've just got a vinyl order just come in, and I'm going to have to make up the graphics on the computer, measure everything up, make sure it's all the right size. But I'll film that going on, and hopefully it doesn't look like complete garbage. So step one, make the car look good, because TV cameras. Not that they're going to see me, you know, I'm at the back of the grid. Okay, the next thing, and probably one of the big things, is engine. Now, as you know, we have our new race engine here, which I still haven't taken the head down to Dandy Engines. I've still got to speak to Frank and the boys down there about that. But they're very busy and that's going to take some time. This engine I will have to strip down. I want to balance it. I want to clean it. There's a lot of work in this and I could probably get it done in time for Bathurst. However, it will be an untested engine. Now, this is a big race. This is something I don't want to go there and risk a stupid mechanical failure ruining my weekend. I don't care if I come last, I just want to go out there and do my best. And I'm afraid that building this engine, even though we'll do it properly and I'll do it the best way I can, I won't have time to go to a track or do a race in Victoria and test this thing to make sure it's going to be reliable. This engine probably doesn't have quite as much power as this will when it's finished. Not that there's much in it, but this engine's reliable. This is old faithful. This engine has been here in the car. It's the original engine from the car. We beat the crap out of this thing and it's just solid. It won't die. It's happy. It sounds good. It's clean inside now. Wasn't when we got it. I personally think the safest bet, we'll do a few little tweaks, we'll give it a service, and we'll keep this engine in the car for Bathurst because I just know it's going to work. You guys may have differing opinions. Please feel free to comment about that, but I feel for this race, without the time to test a new engine, this is going to be the best way to go. But we will give it the best chance of doing well. So I have some injectors that I got. I basically went to pick apart and I bought a bunch of injectors out of XLs. I've taken them to our friends at Max Performance, just up the road from where I work, and asked them, can you give them all a clean, flow test them, and get me the most even set of injectors? And so they're doing that at the moment for me, and they will, then once I've got a nice, good set of injectors, I'll put them in here. I'm sure these injectors aren't bad, but it's nice to know they're all even, they're all good. So I'll put those injectors in here, which will be good. The next thing we will be doing is we will be putting in our fuel pressure regulator from our friends at Raceworks. So the guys supplied this and all the fittings and everything I need to make it work on this car. Fuel pressure regulator, for those that you don't know, basically this is a circulating fuel system. So you've got a pump in the boot, pumps fuel into the rail, and then at the end of the rail, there's a regulator that basically builds pressure up in the rail to allow the injectors to squirt fuel. And then after that, it goes around the system back into the tank. What the fuel pressure regulator does, it allows you to adjust that pressure so you can add more or less pressure to the injectors. We've got a little gauge that'll be going on here so we can adjust our fuel pressure on that. But, you know, ideally you dyno the car to set up the fuel pressure regulator. However, speaking to some of the gurus, the fuel pressure can change depending on what track you're at. You know, at higher elevation, you need to change it compared to like a sea level track. You know, at Phillip Island, we're very close to sea level. Mount Panorama, I think, is quite a bit higher. So there's no point sort of setting it up for ground level, sea level, and then going somewhere like that. So what I think I'd like to do, and they're a little bit expensive, but I think it's going to be the safest way to go, is to get a wideband airflow meter. So I've got one in the Sora. It's a good little one, and you can plug in the back of it, and it actually data logs your fuel pressure. I can't map that to throttle, but I think with if I run the camera and my tacho, I should be able to merge the footage over the top and sort of see where my revs are at and all that sort of stuff, and see where the fuel pressure is at. Basically, with the monitoring, I can just see, make sure we're not into unsafe territory, and still getting, you know, that, because you want a slightly leaner mixture to get these things to go hard. These engines, it's not like a turbo engine. We're not getting stupid hot, so we can lean it out a tiny bit. But having a live gauge there means we can go out on track, give it a boot, see where the air fuel ratios are at, and then adjust it up accordingly. So I think that's going to be the way to go. Unfortunately, those gauges are not cheap. So, and we do need a bung welded in the exhaust. Which brings me to my next part, is our friend Rob from RG Customs is going to build us a brand new exhaust for this thing. So he built the exhaust originally to my specifications. I was worried about the car being too loud, which I should not have. So it has a big muffler on the back. It's only 2-inch. It's just too restrictive for what we're doing, and it's too bloody quiet as well. It's so quiet, this car. So We're going to go a whole new system, 2.5 inch all the way through, a couple of hot dogs. It's going to be noisy, it's going to be rowdy, it's going to make pops and bangs, it's going to feel like a race car. But it should free up a couple other ponies. And while he's doing that, I'll get him to weld in a bung for the wideband sensor. And then that way we can then tune our fuel pressure regulator in the car, on the track. So yeah, plus, while we're here, we've got new plugs from my friends at Raceworks. So we're going to go new spark plugs. We're going to do some new leads. These things are getting pretty old now. They've had a bit of a life, so we'll go new leads. And just, obviously fresh fluids, all that sort of stuff. I've already just redone the cooling system when I pulled out the heater core. But also we'll go, fresh oil, fresh filters, everything like that. Give this engine the best chance of A, surviving, and B, doing well. Hopefully give us a little more power to get us up and down that mountain. So anyway, that's the engine, guys. We will be doing this year. But for now, I think we're just safer, stick with Old Faithful, and then we'll build this thing up slowly in our own time, get it in the car, see if we can get more ponies out of this thing. So I have my list on the wall here. This category was just everything I need to do with the car. Now I've got a Bathurst list, which is very similar, just doesn't have the engine stuff in it. So there's a lot of little things I need to do to this car. Some of it I'll film for you guys, some of it I won't, because obviously I just need to get this stuff done. I don't think you need to see a bunch of it. Like, one of the problems I've now encountered is with these Super Shocks, I'm finding I'm getting drive shaft binding. So when you camber the wheels in, it pushes the drive shafts in, the drive shafts then butt against each other, or against the main pin in the middle of the diff, and binds it up, and you hear it going and grinding. Luckily, the older XL X2 drive shafts are 10mm shorter on both sides, and everything else is the same. So we can put them in a little bit shorter, we don't get those binding issues. So I've hit up our friend Wayne at Brakes & More, and he's sending me over some new drive shafts. Also some other little bits I need, a thermostat because mine's old and haggard, and just some little bits like that. Also what he's sending is a front caliper rebuild kit. So I'm going to rebuild my front calipers. I'm going to pull all the rubbers out, everything. They're the original calipers. I haven't really done much to them, I just greased the pistons, so I'm going to pull it all out, give them a full service, get them working schmick. You don't want to be mucking around with no brakes at the mountain. That's pretty scary. Also, he's sending me some rear cylinder pistons. So for the drum brakes, they're just straight up replacement pistons. Take the old ones out, put new ones in, work great. And I've got some brand new RDA spare shoes, which I'll put in the back. The shoes aren't too bad. One of them's looking pretty low, so new ones are those. And I'll also put a coat of paint on the rear drums because they're a bit rusty. Same with the front calipers, they're all a bit funky. Clean them all off, new coats of paint, make everything look nice and shiny. So thank you to Wayne for sorting all that out for me. I'm going to go pick that up next week. And then, yeah, we've got a list of just all little bits. The point of that whole thing was I probably won't film putting drive shafts in. It's a fairly boring thing. I might gloss over it quickly in a video. Also, I need to change out the passenger side drive shaft seal on the gearbox. It's leaking. I did the driver's side ages ago, but never got around to the passenger side. So little things like that. You guys don't need to see me changing seals and stuff like that. It's boring, and I just need to get it done. But what else have we got on this list? So, tyres, buffed and fitted. So we've got our brand new Koenig wheels here from Mish's XL Garage, which I'm in love with, and I can't wait. We've got a brand new set of Federal tyres in the boot of the car. So I'm going to take these down to a guy just down the road from me. Apparently he's the best guy at buffing tyres in Victoria. Adam Macro recommended him to me, and he's going to fit those tyres and buff them. I've just got to hit him up and organise a day to go down there. And then basically they're ready to go on the car. The only problem we've got is because we will be using these beautiful spacers from Mish's XL Garage, these are 10mm spacers which are allowed to run on the front to pump out our front track width a bit. You do need to run longer wheel studs. So I do have a box of these bad boys, these longer wheel studs here. So I'll be putting them in the front. Downside, if you guys haven't worked on an XL before, is we have to press the bearing out, press the whole hub assembly out to get these new wheel studs in. Super annoying, but it's what we're gonna do. So I brought my press home, my hydraulic press home from my dad's house. I've got it here. So we'll take those hubs out. Once again, I don't think you guys need to see me press this out. There is a video of me changing bearings. You can go and watch that. Watch me swearing and hating on this stupid design. But we'll put, put the new studs in, make sure the bearings are all good. They should be fine. They're good Japanese bearings. I think they're the same What we got here? This one, Koyo's. They're a good brand, you know, Japanese built. I'm a fan of Japanese stuff. So we'll do that. And what I'm also going to do is build a spare set of hubs, because you can't just slip the disc on and off. You have to press it all out. I have a spare set of hubs. I'm going to put them together with the longer studs, brand new discs, and have them ready to go. So if we have any troubles at Bathurst, like we have a disc crack, a bearing foul, we don't have to try and press things apart. Literally just go bolt, bolt, take the whole hub off, new hub on, that's new disc, new bearings, new everything, ready to go. So I will also put a set of those together, and they'll be in the car as spares. Yeah, you're sticking with me? So there's a lot to do. So we've got our drive shafts, service front calipers, new wheel studs, new exhaust. I've got to wrap the intake. I've got that gold wrap, which I want to put on the pipe in the intake. I need to set up my shifter from Mish. So we've got that Mish's new excellent short shifter, which feels great, but he said you just got to make sure it's all adjusted. So he's sending me the details for that. Fix the roof livery. We've talked about that. Nugget duct. So this car gets bloody hot. All race cars get bloody hot. There's not much cooling in there. Obviously we don't have aircon. You don't want to run with your windows down because that slows you down, gives you drag. So we run a nugget duct, this guy. So it's a clear nugget duct, and that goes in a Perspex insert in the passenger window. We have to keep our glass window in there, but this goes in a little insert in the top, and then we can run some ducting with some cool air so I don't die in the car of heat exhaustion. So I need to go and get it's not Perspex, sorry, it's polycarbonate. We need to run polycarbonate in the window. You can't run Perspex, it splinters. Polycarbonate is the way to go. It's not that easy to find. It's all those sheets of plastic at Bunnings, they're all Perspex. So we'll go and find a sheet of polycarbonate, cut out that insert, put that in, and I will film that process because that's something new that I think people will be interested in. I'm interested in how it's going to work. So yeah, that'll be good, and we can run some ducting, get a bit of cooling in this car so we don't die. Fuel pressure regulator, wideband we talked about, new rear pistons, drive shaft seal. I have a little bit of an oil leak. I don't know where, but I want to get under the car and try and fire that. It's not much. It's just, you know, little drip on the floor every couple of weeks, but I hate oil leaks, so I'm going to try and find that. So we'll fix that. Plugs and leads, change our injectors, which we spoke about, and then suspension. So we've got a suspension in the car, but it's not really set up. So I'm in two minds here. I definitely want to go and do a test day in this car once everything's done and make sure everything's good. I need a bit of practice in the car. I haven't been in a race car since Aaron's car in South Australia, so I need some practice. I'm in two minds whether I just tweak the car myself and get it running fast, or I give it to someone. Now, obviously, giving it to someone is going to cost money. There's a few people in Victoria that are pretty good at setting up suspension. Do I give it to them, get them to corner weight it, set it all up properly, and then I've got the best chance of going right around the mountain? Or do I just give it a crack myself? I don't know. I think we'll wait and see on that one. Obviously, if I give it to someone, they're going to do a better job, but that's also money that I don't really want to spend right now. We'll get back to you on that one. So the last thing is spare parts. I've been chatting to a couple of the other guys who have been accepted for this, and we don't want to take any chances. If something breaks and we can't race for just stupid reasons, we're going to be so bummed. So we're going to give ourselves the best chance of being able to fix the car if we bin it, fix the car if we break it. So I want to bring a few spares. This gearbox, although it's big and unruly, I'm going to take it. I'm going to give it a good clean up. I'm going to take all the engine mounts and all the heavy crap off it, just keep it the box itself. I'm pretty confident it works. It came out the car, we haven't tested it. Feels all right, and basically we can change out a gearbox in this car pretty quick. I've done it before. So if I blow a gearbox, bring it back to the pits, knuckle down, get the old box off, get this one in, and hopefully get back on track and keep on racing. You know, it's a cumbersome thing to card up there. You know, I'm probably going to wrap it up in bubble wrap in a blanket, stick it in the back of the XL, and just leave it in the corner. And hopefully we never have to touch it, never have to unwrap it. But if the worst happens, I've got this thing there, we can shove it in. And you know, also for other people, like, fingers crossed, good mate Aaron Semler from South Australia, hopefully he gets a thumbs up to come and do this too, because I would really love him to be there. you know, if his car pops a box, we've got one here, we can both jump on in, get this thing fixed, get him back out on track too. So, going to bring a gearbox. Bunch of other things. Indicators. The thing that breaks the most on XLs. I've got a spare set of those, so I'll take a spare set of indicators. Fuel pump. Got a spare fuel pump. You know, if the fuel pump packs up, I've got a spare one there. Other things, obviously brake pads. I mean, these are a half-worn set of WinMax W4s, but that's fine. I can chuck them in the car and the car's going to stop and work. So, and I've got a bunch of other stuff I'm going to bring. So, you know, spare leads, spare belts, all that sort of stuff. So we'll have, and as I mentioned, the hubs, the fully ready to go hubs. I also think I'm going to go down to pick apart and grab control arms, because for those of you who don't know Bathurst, there's a lot of walls and they're easy to hit. And if you hit it and you bend a control arm or a tie rod or something like that, I want to be able to go back to pits. I don't care what the side of the car looks like. As long as I can still open and close the door, I'm going to get that thing running again and go back out. So, you know, we throw on the spare wheels, put in some control arms, get the car running as straight as possible and go out and send it again. We've come a long way and spent a lot of money to be there. So, you know, as long as the car's fixable and I'm still okay, I'm going to fix it and send it. So we'll go and get a bunch of spare control arms. Good thing is with the control arms, we can bundle them up into a pack about this big. There's not much of them. So just wrap that up once again and can sit in the corner with the gearbox. Hopefully we never have to touch it, but they're there if we need it. So yeah, spare parts. There's something I honestly go to the racetrack with nothing. I've only had those wheels on that car and that's it at the track. I've never even had a spare set of wheels. So I think the most, I've got a little Bunnings shopping basket I stole years ago, and it's got a spare set of brake pads. That fuel pump's been floating around it, and that's about all the spares I take. It's terrible. So now we're doing this properly, gonna get serious. And there it is, guys. Just a quick video today, just to kind of tell you where my head's at and what the plan is for Bathurst, like prep-wise. Yeah, it's a lot. We've got 2.5 months, but obviously I have work and children and all that sort of things. So that 2.5 months is going to dissipate very, very quickly. So I'm trying to get onto this stuff as soon as possible. I'd rather be prepared earlier rather than later. And I still want to try and get a track day in at Winton to test the car and make sure everything's all good. And get some practice in for myself because I'm going to be pretty rusty. Yes, once again, thank you so much to everyone who has supported me with the stickers on the car. It's amazing. You humble me. You're incredible people. As I said, the bonnet is pretty much full now, but hell, we've got a roof. We've got a little bit of room on the side of the door above the livery. I don't know. I'm happy to stick you guys anywhere. So let's, if you do want to keep supporting, I really appreciate it. The money so far has helped pay for the deposit for the race. So we pay a deposit now, we pay the full amount, which we still don't actually know the final amount yet, which is terrifying. We've been given a vague idea of how much, but that's scary. Imagine going to a car dealership and putting a non-refundable deposit down for something and then finding out later that the car's worth $1 million. Like it's a bit terrifying. I wish they'd just give us a price, but that's it. What do you do? We're just going to do it. So yeah, I've already paid for the deposit and I've also already done that order with Wayne from Brakes and More using the money that you guys have supplied. So thank you so much. You know, I probably wouldn't have made that order with Wayne right now because, you know, over the Christmas break, being self-employed, money's a bit tight. So already you have helped me immensely. Thank you so much. So we will film this process of getting the car ready. As I said, some bits you don't need to see, some bits you do. You know, I think there's some cool stuff like putting the fuel pressure regulator in. I think that's cool. You guys should see that. Same with the Nugget duct and livery. I think that's a cool thing to show you. I think maybe putting the drive shafts in and maybe servicing the brakes, probably something you guys don't need to see. Maybe I'll show you the caliper service because I haven't done that before. I've seen it, but I haven't done it. So maybe I'll show you that. It's a cool little thing so you can do it yourself. And other than that, it's just lots of little bits just on the car. We need to update our 1Gauge now because they've just done a really cool update with some good bits. So we're going to speak to our friends at 1Gauge to update our system. And then, yeah, I'm going to stick cameras all over this damn car for this. I'm not missing out on a thing. I've got a mount in the front grille that I haven't used in a while. There's going to be a camera there. We're going to have a 360 camera on the roll cage. We're going to have a normal camera there. I have another GoPro Hero 7 Black, which I'm going to point backwards out the back. We're going to cover everything on this race because why wouldn't we? It's Bathurst. Also, I've got some legends that are hopefully coming with me. We're still confirming stuff, but I'm going to grab a couple of cameras and I'm going to put cameras in their hands to go out and film this. We might be doing some filming for somebody else while we're there too, but that's something I need to discuss with those people. I'll get back to you on that one. It could be quite exciting actually. So anyway, check back with all this. I just want to update you guys on what's happening and say thank you once again for all your support. It's amazing. You're all a bunch of legends. Check back soon as we start getting this car ready for the mountain. You. Wait. Our mate Aaron Semler just messaged me. He's been accepted to Bathurst too. So good. I'm so stoked for him. That's unreal. So team SHIT, Semler Hull International team, are going to be at the mountain. That is so cool. We can wear our hoodies again. That's awesome. Well done, Aaron. Stoked for you. Okay, guys, we'll see you in the next episode. We'll get this car ready for Bathurst. You!